Now, President Trump, familiar with all of these terms, of course. So today, he tweeted out at Lavar Ball. And Lavar Ball, as you know, is a dummy. So Lavar Ball, as we have said, is the father of LiAngelo Ball, who's a UCLA basketball player who was arrested in China for shoplifting. And Lavar Ball has said he will not say thank you to President Trump because he's adult. President Trump feels that it is absolutely of necessity that he tweet back at Lavar Ball so we can have this clash of the intellectual titans. So here is what he tweeted today. He's just not going to let this thing go. Now, I gotta tell you, when I was a kid and I had my bar mitzvah, got lots of money, got lots of presents, and one of the things that my mother said is that you have to write thank you notes to every person who gave you a present. There was nothing I hated in life more than writing those thank you notes. I despised it. It was terrible because she insisted that I handwrite every one of them. I couldn't just send like a group email. I then had to personalize it and say, thank you so much for this useless gift that I will never use. Signed, Ben, and can't wait to see you. It took me months to write those thank you notes. So I have a particular place in my heart that despises people who sit around at their mailbox and wait for the thank you note. And there were those people, okay? There were people who legitimately would call up my grandmother and they'd be like, I gave the gift and I never received a thank you note. It's like, the hell's wrong with you? Like, who cares whether you received a thank you note or not? I thought that the joy of giving was actually the giving, not the receipt of the useless thank you note that will end up in your garbage after I spend money on the postage. President Trump, I have to say, he's got the feel of a guy who gives a gift and then sits around for 3 months waiting for the thank you note and then calls my grandmother, because here is what he just tweeted. Quote, yeah, it's so eloquent. It wasn't the White House. It wasn't the State Department. It wasn't Father Lavar's so-called people on the ground in China that got his son out of long-term prison sentence. It was me. Too bad. Lavar is just a poor man's version of Don King, but without the hair. Yeah, it's a funny line. Just think. And then he continues along these lines. Lavar, you could have spent the next 5 to 10 years during Thanksgiving with your son in China, but no NBA contract to support you. But remember, Lavar, shoplifting is not a little thing. It's really a big deal, especially in China. Ungrateful fool. I pity the fool. So President Trump really going full out this morning at 2:33 a.m. Pacific time. So he was up early on the East Coast, and something about that not receiving the thank you note from Lavar Ball has really bothered him. Now, two things can be true at once. Lavar Ball can be Don King without the hair, and also the President of the United States probably has better things to do, I would think, than tweeting about Lavar Ball. But no, I do have to say there's something really hilarious about the fact that he called him Don King without hair. You know who campaigned for Donald Trump, right? Don King. You remember that? Like, it happened during the campaign. And it was a big deal because people were saying Don King is like a convicted murderer, which he is. So it was like a big deal during the campaign. But now Lavar Ball is Don King. Oh, you gotta love it. This is America now, man. It's a reality TV show. And the eloquence is just spectacular. So this has been Eloquent Trump. Thank you for that. Just spectacular job, Mr. President. I'm just going to fall back on stupidity, and that's where we are now. Last night, speaking of stupidity, last night, CNN had a 20-minute interview with Lavar Ball. Lavar Ball is this loudmouth moron whose child, Lonzo Ball, plays for the is that his name? Yeah, Lonzo Ball. He plays for the Lakers, and he has a garbage jump shot. He's basically benched because he's shooting 30% from the field. He's just awful. It's amazing to me you get drafted not knowing how to shoot a basketball. Like, this seems to me the number one priority. But in any case, now his father, Lavar, had started, he's made a name for Lonzo basically by being a loudmouth and saying his son is better than Michael Jordan, which is absurd. Michael Jordan could shoot and play defense. And Lavar Ball then took on Donald Trump. So his other son, LiAngelo, went to China and started shoplifting in China, which is a genius move. And Trump got him free. And then Trump did what Trump does. He said, I want to thank you. And LiAngelo Ball gave him a thank you, but Lavar Ball did not. Instead, Lavar Ball ripped on President Trump, which led President Trump to suggest that he should have left LiAngelo in jail in China, which, of course, is very mature. And then CNN decided that it was necessary to have a 20-minute interview with Lavar Ball, which is just, I'll just play you some of this, and you'll see how stupid the media are. And then you wonder why we can't take serious issues seriously, because the same people who are discussing the quote-unquote serious issues are interviewing Lavar Ball for 20 minutes.
I would say thank you if he would have put him on his plane and took him home. Then I would have said, thank you, Mr. Trump, for taking my boys out of China and bringing them back to the U.S. There's a lot of room on that plane. I would have said, thank you kindly for that.
So, because he didn't take them home on the plane, no thank you.
Well, I'm just saying, that's how I would say thank you. I'm just saying, you might say thank you a different way. You just say thank you like it's any kind of word.
It's not how you'll say thank you, it's when you'll say thank you.
I can tell you don't mean nothing about it.
What now? So President Trump gets them out of jail in China, but the problem is the plane ride. So LeVar Ball, obviously a member of higher intelligence at work. Even Shannon Sharp, who has come in for serious criticism on the Ben Shapiro show before, even he says, LeVar, you're being an idiot.
I can assure you, even the people that dislike President Trump the most would agree that LeVar Ball is in the wrong in this situation. I guarantee you that. You might dislike what he's done, what he said, and who he is, but what he had some effect on these kids coming home.
It sure seemed like it.
Who was your son? Your son, the one that got President Trump involved in this.
You're right.
You should have been over there opening up 15, 25 pop-up stores, hopefully selling thousands and thousands pairs of sneakers. But your son couldn't keep his hands to himself.
Good for Shannon Sharp. Okay, so I mean, when even Shannon Sharp is critiquing your intelligence, then you know that you've really fallen low, LeVar Ball. So well done, media, for 20 minutes. 20 minutes. I mean, my God, what a desert wasteland cable television has become when LeVar Ball can fill 20 minutes. On this date, yesterday on this date, in 1863, Abraham Lincoln gave a very famous speech. He gave a speech that we all know as the Gettysburg Address. Right, this took place on this date, this specific date, November 19th, 1863, so yesterday. And in it, he declared that we as a union were going to have to stand together, and that the better angels of our nature were going to bring the country together, and that we have to not sacrifice, these people should not have sacrificed their lives in vain. That has been matched only by Donald Trump. So Donald Trump says he can be the most presidential president outside of Abraham Lincoln. And I think he proved that yesterday when he tweeted this about LeVar Ball. So remember, LeVar Ball's son, LeAngelo, I don't know what the obsession is in the family with law. It's LeVar, LeAngelo, and what's the name of the kid? Lorenzo? So in any case, the letter L is big there. LeVar, his son, LeAngelo, was arrested in China for shoplifting. And as you recall, Trump got him out of prison and then demanded a thank you, to which the son acquiesced. And I said at the time, like, this is kind of babyish that the president wants a thank you for getting an American citizen out of prison in China. But in any case, you know, the son said thank you. Well, then they asked LeVar about it. And LeVar said, I'm not going to thank President Trump. I'm not going to thank him because LeVar is also a member of higher intelligence. He obviously is a high IQ guy. And so what he said is, Trump didn't visit my son in prison. Well, he got him out, so you probably should say thank you. But then eloquent Trump showed up. So eloquent Trump tweeted yesterday, now that the 3 basketball players are out of China and saved from years in jail, LeVar Ball, the father of LeAngelo, is unaccepting of what I did for his son, and that shoplifting is no big deal. I should have left them in jail! Exclamation point. Ah, eloquent Trump. Do love this stuff. No, you shouldn't have left them in jail just because daddy wasn't grateful to you. That's not the way the presidency works. I'm going to talk about why this is important in just a second, but it was pretty epic Trump yesterday, and you just wonder, was he super bored yesterday? He didn't like the football? Like, what was going on with him yesterday? He was back from his trip, and he had a lot to get off his chest. That was not the only eloquent Trump yesterday. He also tweeted further about LeVar Ball. He tweeted, shoplifting is a very big deal in China, as it should be, 5 to 10 years in jail, but not to Father LeVar. Should have gotten his son out during my next trip to China instead. China told them why they were released. Very ungrateful! Exclamation point. So he should have left them in jail for a few more months because daddy was mean to Trump. Okay, so one thing here. So a lot of people who are Trump supporters find this stuff absolutely hilarious. It is hilarious, but it's hilarious and also tragic because, again, yesterday was the anniversary of the Gettysburg Address. Eloquent Trump. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, the left obviously goes crazy whenever Trump does any of this sort of stuff. So Brian Stelter on CNN says something ridiculous. He says this is race baiting.
Think about this. He's just recently let the NFL kneeling controversy start to subside, start to fade away. And now here he is calling out these players and the families again. I think it's immature at best, Fred, but it's really race baiting at worst. Mm-hmm. That's going to be debated. That's going to be argued about. But I want to put that on the table. It sure looks like race baiting to a lot of people. And by the way, the reason why I think these tweets are important is because they are a serious look.
Okay, so it's race baiting. Okay, first of all, I'll show you it's not race baiting. So more eloquent Trump. Trump was very eloquent yesterday. I mean, he put on his cravat, he grabbed his pipe, he fired up the handle, and he ended up tweeting out this one, too. This is one about Jeff Flake. So Jeff Flake, of course, is the senator from Arizona. He's not running for re-election. He said that he thinks that Trump is basically the end of the Republican Party. And here's what he tweeted. More eloquent Trump. Senator Jeff Flake E. He wrote Flakey, but the Y is in parentheses. Who is unelectable in the great state of Arizona, quit race, anemic polls, was caught purposely on Mike is spelled M-I-K-E, saying bad things about your favorite president. He'll be a no on tax cuts because his political career anyway is quote-unquote toast. There's so much that is glorious about this tweet. First of all, the revolutionary use of the scare quotes is, I don't know why toast is in scare quotes. I don't know why Mike is in scare quotes. I don't know why Mike is spelled M-I-K-E as opposed to M-I-C. I don't know why Jeff Flake was on top of some dude named Mike. That's weird. And I don't know why Jeff Flake was on top of that dude named Mike saying bad things about my favorite president, Abraham Lincoln. I don't know why Jeff Flake was ripping on Abraham Lincoln. I do love that Trump calls himself your favorite president. He has the lowest poll numbers of any president in American history at this point in his presidency. Astonishingly grand. Favorite current president. That's true. Thank you, Austin. It's true. He is my favorite